This next exercise is side plank. So we're emphasizing the core abdominals, the obliques, the quadratus lumborum, the deltoids. So we're going to be lying on your side, Jasmine, and we're going to start on the elbow, so shouldn't be any problems with wrist issues here. This involves a lot of core stability to prevent sagging and just general strength to lift the body off the floor. Now you can see in this position, Jasmine's rolling back, so her hip is directly away from the opposite hip, and it needs to be directly on top. So I'm just going to push and stack her hip one over the other. So hip over hip, knee over knee, ankle over ankle. This elbow needs to be directly underneath the shoulder. If it's even slightly out, she'll not get the height required. And then really you can see the collapsing going on here. And this is one of the most common mistakes. So really want to pull that bottom rib away from the floor and that shoulder away from the ear, okay? With the head in line with the spine. Now, we're just going to start off with the full version on the elbow and with the hand just here on top of the thigh. So start off with the full version, then we're going to show you some modifications to make it slightly easier and then some variations to make it harder. So take a deep breath in, one foot stacked on top of the other, exhale and lift the hips up, and the arm can either stay here or it can go over and stretch over the head like that, provided the shoulder doesn't hunch away from the ear. So we've got that diagonal line, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, ear. And then slowly, this is where people kind of just plonk down. And actually the hardest part of the movement is those last 2 inches before the body hits the floor again, because that's when the body weighs its most, and that's where you need to resist gravity. So often people think it's getting up is hard, and it is challenging, but actually preventing you collapsing back down on the floor, resisting gravity, is also very challenging. So that would be your full variation here. So the things, remember, to watch out for is collapsing in those ribs. So really pulling in that bottom rib, the rib that's closest to the floor, using the obliques, and really pulling that, again, that shoulder, the one that you're resting on, away from the ear so it doesn't collapse in the shoulder or the rib, stacking those hips and really lengthening up. Let's try that one more time. Breathe in to prepare. Exhale, engage the core and slowly lift up. Reaching that arm without hunching, keeping the joints stacked again, no rotation of the pelvis. Breathe in to hold, and exhale, coming down for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Okay, so to make this a little bit easier, now you can see one foot is stacked directly over the rest of the other. So if we just take that foot in front, so remember, the wider the base for those legs, the more stable, okay? So that adds a little bit of stability. The other thing we could do is take this hand here and we can use it to kind of push into the floor, so we can kind of cheat a little bit. So we're not just relying on the obliques or the quadratus lumborum or the deltoid on this underneath side. Okay, so taking a deep breath in through the nose, pushing the hand into the floor, and you might have to lean slightly forward to do that, and then again more stable to lift up, and you can keep the hand on the floor, breathe in as you hold, and then keep the hand on the floor to kind of break the fall so gravity doesn't take over on the way down, gently coming down, slowly, slowly, slowly. And if that's still too much, what we can do is bend both knees like this. And it kind of becomes a kind of 3/4 side plank where we take the hips off and the thighs, but the knees and feet stay on the floor. So take a deep breath in, exhale, and lifting the hips up with or without this hand. There you go. And we've just got probably about 3/4 of the body weight here because we've got the knees and feet down, and then gently coming back down, slowly resisting gravity. So that would be a modification which is suitable for those clients who are not as strong. Now going back to the straight leg version, 2 straight legs, joints stacked, you can either have the feet directly over the other, or if you feel you want to have a little bit more stable base, top leg crosses over. And instead of using the elbow here, we're going to come onto the hand. So the hand is not quite under the shoulder, it's a little way out, but almost. And it's the same action here. Now, this doesn't mean it's necessarily harder than being on the elbow. It's just different. And some clients find it easier on the elbow, some find it easier on the hand, and there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason in terms of strength. It's often personal preference. Sometimes this can be a little bit more shaky, particularly on the descent coming back down. So let's have a try. Shoulders down, ribs in, breathing in to prepare. Shoulder away from the ear, and exhale, lift the hips up. And again, the hand can stay here, or it can go in a T shape, so it makes the letter T. And again, breathing in, drawing those ribs back to the spine, and then slowly coming down, resisting gravity. Here's where it starts to weigh a lot. So slow that last few inches down. So that's another variation. And within this, which one do you prefer, Jasmine, on the hand or on the elbow?
The hand, I think.
The hand? Okay. Just going to show you a couple of variations here. One is with an added twist, so you're going to twist that top arm under and reach through. And the other is kind of lifting that top leg a few inches. So just a few variations on the theme of side plank. So again, gently shoulder down, ribs in, and lift up. Hand comes up. And then I just want you to take that arm underneath. It's like you're trying to touch my hand here, Jasmine. Look behind you. So you've got a rotation here. And then you come back up to that T-shaped position. Tuck that tailbone under, tuck those ribs in, and slowly, slowly, slowly. That's what I mean, can be a little bit wobbly there. And I'll get you to do that one more time, Jasmine, but this time without the twist, and when you're up in that T shape, just lifting that top leg a couple of inches, just so we're adding in an element of balance here, as well as some work for the glutes. So last time, watch that this elbow doesn't lock out, keep it slightly soft. Breathing in to prepare, shoulders down, navel tight, and gently lift, up. Tuck under, ribs in, and slowly lifting that top leg, couple of inches, beautiful. Gently down and slowly back down. So just a couple of variations on that theme of side plank. And obviously this particular version is no use for wrist issues. They would have to be on the elbows instead.